I don't know music. Oh my goodness, we've gone live. We've gone live. So, by the way, guys, if you're here, we're going live on Impact. How are you? We're live on TikTok, or if you want to watch my screen, we're live on YouTube. I hope we're live on YouTube. I don't even know how to check if we're live or not. What do I check? All right, let's go grab the other phone. Hello, Charles. Hi. How are you, Impact? It's been a while. Have you been? We are here checking out the markets. I genuinely don't even know how to check if I'm live or not. So we're trying something new today. We're going live on, thank you so much for the Hami. We're going live on YouTube, and I don't even know how to check. So we're going to try and check while we're live. Um, oh, it says I'm live. Your videos. Oh, I think I am live. Um, there we go. Yeah, how are you? Nice to see you. Well, I'm checking out my live, so I just thought I'd come on and basically we're going to be running two lives. Hey, Nave, how are you? Anthony, how are you? Nice to see you again. So we're going to be running on YouTube. If you want to, Nav, if you want to go and check out what I'm looking at, jump onto YouTube. It's easy to find me everywhere. It's just Nanicrypto all over socials. If not, you can go to the link in my bio, and you're now going to be able to see what I'm doing. So here on TikTok, this is me. But if you want to see me on YouTube and you want to see what I'm actually looking at, then let's jump over there and you can go and see what I'm doing over there. All right. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just sign into the chat so that only I've got to do it on the web stream. So let's go and get out of here. And I think that's going to allow me to see what people are writing. Hopefully, we'll see. It's like I'm running three screens at once because one screen isn't enough. And it's disappeared. There we go. We're back. All right. So this is what the market's doing at the moment. As you can see, it looks very different to what it did a few days ago. Now, I'm not worried. As per usual, it is literally just about watching what the charts are doing. And hey, Michelle Clark, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us over at YouTube. So the idea, guys, if you want to start seeing what I'm looking at, make sure that you are following me on YouTube. I'm kind of finding that while the world of TikTok, I will still be doing the lives here. I just find that it's quite restrictive. We'll use the word restrictive. So yeah, guys, as I said, if you want to see what I'm actually looking at, head over to YouTube. I am live there now at the moment, and we will be sharing with everybody what my thoughts are. So this is what the market's currently doing. Again, I'm not worried. The reason it's looking like this is because obviously, so Bitcoin, let's quickly jump into Bitcoin. Bitcoin went as high as 70, what's that? 79.5. So just shy of 80K. And this was, see when this was, Friday. Okay. Now, the reason I'm okay with that is because I would expect Bitcoin to pull back. Our oversold indicator was really, really high. I think it hit as high like 96 or something absurd like that. When we are so overbought, sorry, not oversold, overbought, when we are so overbought, then we just need to be weary of that. Because what usually happens when we hit those overbought indicators is that we are going to pull back, and that's the RSI. All right. So to me, just knowing that that happened pretty much spot on as soon as we crossed that uh, local, I think that was local. Let me just go back. Yeah, that was local resistance that we had seen from back in March. Then I'm okay with that. Just seeing where that's at and seeing where that could take us to me is important to know. Thank you, Esmarga, so much for the follow. So to me, it's important to know that we are, the market is moving as per we would expect. Hey, Crypto Angel, how are you? And we are happy to see it go where it's going at the moment. And what I mean by that is I don't expect it to go through the roof in one jump. And if you're expecting that, then that's where I think it gets, really, really hard. Thank you so much for the heart, me crypto angel. So again, we are where again, I can't control what the market does, but one of the things that I do remember to do is watch the market and see what it's doing. Obviously, look, I know people keep saying that Bitcoin, separates from the rest of the market. I don't really believe that it does. I do believe that Bitcoin still sets the trend. And obviously, as we can see, like I think it was like a 20 something, which is not normal in Bitcoin, right? We actually saw, what's this? We saw a 23% run, okay, in like 3 days. So the fact that it did that to me means, okay, that's good. There is obviously a lot of stuff going on in the market that's allowing that to happen. But also, again, we can't go to the moon forever. I do just quickly want to jump on into DOT. I know someone here over on TikTok was asking me about DOT. Here are my thoughts on DOT. Let me just zoom out. We'll just quickly jump into the 4 hour. Yeah, see, the thing about DOT is, look, most coins right now have actually pulled out from where they were. That's just what the market's actually doing. Again, why? Because a lot of those coins are following Bitcoin. But I can tell you now from what I'm looking at. Now, look, I used to be a very long time DOT holder. And as you can see, it's absolutely plummeted. Like, and I'm talking. Like I was selling DOT back when it was $40, and the top of DOT, thank you so much, Coach Warriors, for the follow. The top of DOT was actually 49.7. So, it was sitting $40 to $50. So that to me is telling us we've got a long way to go. Really unfortunate to see that we broke that starting point, which was back in August 2020. So to me, the chart is saying, look, I wouldn't touch this with the 10-foot pole. I still think it has, and the people who learn how to trade using my strategy know this. We have a lot of downwards pressure, and the fact that we have that downwards pressure is going to take a while for it to turn around and start that uptrend again. Okay, guys, don't forget we are live on TikTok. And we will be trying to post on both. But if you want to see what I'm looking at, make sure you head over to YouTube. I'm live at the moment sharing my screen and everything so that you guys can get a much better idea of what I'm talking about when we look at these different charts. Okay, so the other one that I'm obviously keeping an eye on is Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has moved very nicely. And it's funny because I think it was on the Tuesday, might have been the Tuesday or the Wednesday, I shared with the guys in the VIP group and I said, hey guys, one of the things that has happened in the past with the way, by the way, if you are listening to me on YouTube, I know you guys can hear me okay, because I always do this on live. But if you are hearing me on YouTube, and if you can just comment in the chat, let me know if you can hear me okay. The last live I did on YouTube, I went live, I didn't notice, and I had to take the video down because there was no audio. So just to make sure that we are live, I'd really appreciate it with the guys that are over in YouTube. So Ethereum was one that, again, Monday, Tuesday last week, I was sharing with the VI group and said to them, guys, just be aware that Ethereum is starting to move. So I've been in the space for 9+ years, and what I've seen in the market is that the market has started to move perfectly. And thank you so much. The market has started to move, and usually ETH is the one that starts. Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and mute this spammer that we have here on TikTok. These people who come in to try and scam my community. I don't think so. So in the past, ETH has always been one of those that starts to move first. So if you compare, for example, hey Crystal, if you compare this chart with the DOT chart that we were just looking at, you'll see that DOT is just starting to move. It's just starting to break out, and it's still underwater in theory, right? So we wouldn't jump into that just yet. Whereas in ETH, we can see that ETH has already started to move. And again, in the past, we've seen that one of the coins that starts making that move first is Ethereum, not not some of the other ones. So to me, Ethereum is setting up very nicely. We had local support, which has now been it's been broken through. So hopefully, hey Elvia, how are you? Nice to see you. So hopefully, what we'll do is we'll get past. Look, to me, the most important was that 2000 psychological number. I think it was taking a little while to get past that. We have now broken through that, as per Bitcoin did when it went past 7K. So now the next one is this longer term. So this downtrend was from back in, tell you when, November 2025. So you can see, hey Elvia, ¿cómo estás? So as you can see, we're trying to see that break as well. Okay. Once this area has broken over here, then we should be able to see this area pop through here. So I would expect that it would do something like, and then break through, which I think Bitcoin is doing something similar as well. All right. So again, this is one of the things that is really important when it comes to crypto. If you're looking at whether you're swing trading, whether you're spot trading, try and find those assets that have already cleared. I find that there's a lot of people looking at assets that are at all-time lows, but it's crazy because those all-time lows continue to go even lower, and then they kind of get out. Whereas if you find the assets have already cleared what we could call the mud, what was keeping them down, then these kind of assets are going to be doing much better than the other ones. So again, regardless of what the market is doing, there's always going to be opportunities to go and find assets that have started to move. And in this case, obviously, ETH has already done that, right? Let's go back to crypto bubbles. Now, again, guys, just so you're aware, this is and the same thing that you're seeing on TikTok. This is the 4-hour move. You can see that everything's gone green. And the reason it's done that was because Bitcoin just pulled back ever so slightly, and that's okay. But one of the things we have to remember, and I've just moved over to the weekly here on YouTube, and the reason that's important is because you need to remember that when we look at assets, now there's so many different ways to look at the market, right? But if you are going live, thank you so much, David, for the follow. If you are going live, I read live here and said live, but what I meant to say was if you are trading, then there's one thing you look at. You might be looking at 4-hour time frames. You might be doing 1-hour time frames. You might be a day trader and look at 5-minute time frames, right? But if you are looking at thank you so much, Swabmart. If you are looking at the longer term move, say you are I'm just trying to look at the screen and look at different options. Say you're a long time Litecoin holder, a long time Pengu holder, then always remember to zoom out. Thank you so much for the share. The reason that's really important is because when we zoom out and we look at what's happening, so for example, right now I'm looking at the weekly here in YouTube, I can see that there is a lot of opportunity because all of these are doing well, right? Whereas if I go to the 4-hour, because Bitcoin slightly moves back, then that's what's going to happen. Now, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with knowing that the longer time frame. Why? Because I am a crypto portfolio holder, which means I have assets that I'm going to keep for the long term. Okay. Swabmat, thank you so much for the question. My family is doing very well in Colombia. They weren't affected by the earthquake at all because they're in a different part of Colombia. Thank you so much for asking. Thomas Seven, hi, nice to see you again. Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Again, for the TikTok world, if you do want to see what I'm looking at, I am over on YouTube. We're going to start doing some lives over there and sharing. Thank you so much for the heart me. Okay, so back to the crypto bubbles. Again, zooming out is really important. Know that when you zoom out, you can kind of see what's happening in a bigger time frame. So even though on a 4-hour, I can see that the charts are red, then obviously that's going to be a bit different when we zoom out. Okay, and the same comes for the monthly. As you can see, like there are some crazy returns that have been made on the monthly. These are some of these assets that have already started to move. Now, one thing that I will note on these is when it comes to looking at some of the ones that I'm looking on my screen right now, things like BTW, Pump, Pepe, and that kind of thing, just keep in mind that there may be quite a few meme coins. Now, the reason I mention that is because when it comes to meme coins, you'll see that there are meme coins that are basically happening based on hype. and there may be a community that has come together, or there may be people talking about, oh, I'm going to go and buy the next meme coin. As I always say, I'm not a fan of doing meme coins. I'm a big believer of following you know, the coins that are actually your blue chip coins, those coins that are more stable. I don't really trade meme coins. I've done it before, but very rarely. So just be aware of that. And if you do get it, and the reason I say that is because in my eyes, why would I go ahead and go, into a more, I guess, riskier move and get into other coins when there are so many out there that are doing really, really well. Just to answer some of the questions that we've got here on TikTok, do you think a bull run will happen? Look, Manifesto, I don't have a crystal ball, so I really don't know. But one of the things that I can tell you is we are in a positive move at the moment. We've seen Bitcoin move very nicely over the last, 4 or 5 days, and that's really good. But one of the things we have to remember is we have to hold, right? This can't just be okay, we've pumped whatever 20, 25% in 3 days and then we pull back. So to me, it's important to actually hold those current. If we go back to Bitcoin, I can tell you that um, some of those moves that some of these moves that we are waiting for are this area for here. We have to hold that local resistance, and that local resistance is sitting at about 76. Okay, so if we can hold above that, then we can look at higher time moves like 80 or something like that, right? Um, just going to go back here and check another question that I saw pop up over here. Also, if you are over in YouTube, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them below. If you are watching this video afterwards, after we've gone live, of course, go ahead and leave your comments below. That'd be great. Ronnie, I know you were asking about Polkadot. I did do a quick brief on what my thoughts were on DOT. Again, just remember, guys, that when I do look at these charts, most of these charts are the technical analysis that I'm looking at. Very rarely do I go and look into the projects. And if I am going to look in the projects, I'll definitely share that with you. We also had someone, as per usual, let's go and bring it up. Someone asking about an XRP price prediction. Guys, don't forget, I actually don't do price predictions. I think it is very hard to guess what the market's going to do. But what I do is I check out the charts and we analyze them and see what they're doing. Okay. So again, XRP, great to see it come out of that I think it hit under $1, right? So this is the dollar very briefly sitting around that 98 cents for a brief period of time. I can tell you now that XRP is looking much better than what it did before. We've got the longer time frames starting to flatten out, which is actually really, really good. Now, we've hit this, we had resistance, and that's resistance actually been there for a while. That resistance was $1.62. We've seen it hit that, and it's now pulled back again. Now, full disclosure, I am an XRP holder. I have been for quite some time. The difference with me and XRP, and I recommend anyone to do this, is that I hold the asset, but I have a plan. So just to give you an example, I bought XRP back in, God, years and years and years ago. I even earn XRP. And then what I do was I took profit. So in December 2025, was it December? No, it was December 2024 that we saw that big run. I took some profit. I think that was sitting around $3. Then I think I took profit again in July, the following year, so 2025. And then I went, I'm okay with the amount that I'm holding. So one of the things, and we're having this conversation with Caveman the other day, shout out to Caveman. If you don't follow him on TikTok, highly recommend it. Is that on one of the biggest mistakes that people make in this space is they don't have a plan. When you don't have a plan, when you are, whether you're jumping in, what usually ends up happening is you're emotional and you end up FOMOing in or you panic sell because you don't know what you're doing. Having a plan will allow you to make sure that it is easier for you to ride the ups and downs of the market. Because the reality is that crypto is one of the most volatile spaces, has been. I've been in this space for 9 years, it hasn't gone away. And because it is so volatile, if you don't have a plan, then you will find yourself reacting to moves, again, whether it's a spike or a dump. So just make sure you have a plan. So because I had my plan with XRP, I'm now happy to hold the assets that I have and wait for the next move. Okay, that's what I'm doing. That works for me. You need to figure out what works for you from a if you are a holder, right? Let's just say you're part of the XRP army. That's what I would do. Now, in this specific situation, when I'm looking at the technical analysis, I'm thinking, yes, this chart looks quite good. I do want to get up above this area again. So I'd like to see us up above that 162 area again so that we can continue that uptrend if that's what's going to happen, right? Again, the same as with Bitcoin, we were very extended, obviously overbought. So just watching that kind of goes, okay, I'm happy that it's now pulled back, and I would probably wait a little bit more just before I run in if I was going to trade this. This was something that I'd probably end up spot trading. Okay, so that is XRP. Let me just go through here and see if anyone else has got any more questions. Thank you, David, so much for the follow. Where are we? Thank you, PBS, for the follow. Thank you, Joe, for the follow. Fantastic. All right. Let's go ahead and look at one more. Now, this was another one that I wanted to have a look with you guys today. Now, this is the reason I bring up this chart. I am not trading it by any means. So the chart that I'm looking at right now, guys, is Rave. And the reason I want to bring it up is because I've seen a few posts, and it's just been on different places on X. I've seen it even on some of the lives where people are going, I'm going to jump into Rave now. Now, if you weren't involved with Rave or if you haven't heard about Rave, congratulations, and I'll tell you why. Let me just move to the daily, and we're going to zoom out. Oh, hold on. We're going to zoom out, and I'm going to show you. Now, this is a crazy chart. Like, I know you guys on TikTok aren't watching, but it literally was the toad, huge spike, and I'm talking huge spike. I'll tell you how high we went. We went on the 7th of April all the way till, like, in 10 days, it was 11,800%, right? That's how high that chart went. Now, if you caught the ride up and you made some profit, congratulations. You know, all the best to you. That's great. But what I'm now finding people say is like, oh, I'm going to jump into Rave. It's going to recover. Now, we did a live, and I don't know if you guys remember, we did a live just, I think it was during the run, where I said to you guys, one thing that I don't like is the amount of, so in CoinMarketCap, and actually let's quickly just jump into CoinMarketCap for those of you who are on YouTube watching. Let's just bring up Rave. Is it that one? Let's just see what the price is, 29 cents. I don't think it is that one. No, it's not. Oh, it's Rave Dow, I think it is. Yeah, there it is. So if we go into CoinMarketCap, you'll actually be able to see if you scroll down. So this is just Rave Dow. It's number 267 on CoinMarketCap, right? If you scroll down, sorry, it's asking me a question over here. We're just going to get rid of that. And you scroll down. Here we go. There's actually an area where it tells you the allocation. Can you see this? So it says ecosystem, early supporter, foundation team, community, yada, yada, yada. Now, here are unlock events, and here are the Rave DAO holders. Now, I mentioned this during one of the lives, and this is one of those things that you just need to be aware of. If you look at what is currently, so what percentage is being held? Thank you, Cameron, so much for the follow. What percentage is being held by who? Yes, guys. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, jump over to YouTube, Nanicrypto, link in my bio. It will show you exactly what I'm looking at the moment. Now, I can tell you that the top 10 wallets that are holding Rave, 92.12% is with them. So imagine if they decided to sell, what would happen to the chart? Something like that. Okay. So look, again, I don't know Rave DAO from a bar or so. I don't know about the project. I haven't looked into it. But a project that is being held, again, by that many people, 10 people are or 10 wallets are holding 92% of it, that to me is a big red flag. Okay. And as we can see, again, we saw it plummet. So just be very aware of not just this, hey, chill, well, how are you? Not just this, but other situations that are out there. Because I'm starting to see, you know, literally coins being bought out of the woodworks that have been down for a while. And they're kind of going, oh, yes, well, this coin's now going to turn around. And look, let's be honest. If I move this to the 4 hour and I do this, did it rise? Yes, it did rise. I'm not saying it didn't rise. What I'm saying is it isn't strong enough to go ahead and do a full-on run, in my opinion, because I'm talking about the technical analysis, the fundamentals, which is 10 people holding onto 92% of it. It's just not a good idea. Okay, so be very aware of this. This is just one situation. I've seen multiple. So just be very aware of all these people who have come out of the woodwork saying, and my project's going to the moon, and we've made, because of course, if you check the run that it happened as soon as everybody else, ran, we're talking a 60%. Hey, Matt, how are you? So that's like a 60% run in just a day or two now. But again, this is high risk. Hi, Lajaya, thank you so much for the follow. So again, please be very aware of these kind of situations. All right. Don't forget, guys, if there is anything, whether you're on YouTube watching our charts or whether you are in the chat and you would like to over in TikTok and you want me to check out a chart, let me know. We'll look it up. But look, again, just going back to Bitcoin, I do feel like it's actually quite funny because then people are going, oh, it's going red. No, no, no. It's just pulling back, which is what we expected. And it's nice to see that we're still holding above that 76K range. Okay. Why? Because we want to, hey, 825, how are you? I want to make sure that we want to make sure that we're staying up above that so that we can then continue the next leg up. Okay. Fantastic. The other thing I thought I'd quickly jump into is X. We're going to go ahead and hear what's happening in the X world. Hey guys, I don't know if you are aware of this or not, but I am a huge, huge, huge Tangent advocate. I'm an ambassador as well. I just think it's one of the greatest products out there. It's a product. Hey Freddie, thank you so much for the follow. It's just a product that makes my life so much easier. It is easy to use. It is one of the wallets out there that, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's a Tangent wallet, and it allows you to store your assets offline. So it is a cold wallet. Okay. If you head over to X, that I've been posting. They actually followed me on X, and I'm like, I got excited. Yes, you do. You get excited when Tangent follows. But I am doing a crypto made simple Tangent series. So make sure you look out for that. I'm going to be sharing with you what I use it for and those kind of things. Um, you're very welcome, Elvia. Thank you so much for the follow, Rick and Kano. All right. So I am going to be posting more information about how I use my Tangent, how I earn, and why I believe it's, and why I use it. I know there are other options out there. Also have a Ledger Nano, but the reality is, as a crypto coach that I am, I want to make sure that I share with people the easier option. Hence um, why I use that. Um, Also, shout out to Pepperstone. Pepperstone Crypto. We were at an event recently. It was actually a really cool event. It was great to get together with the community. They now, so if you're not aware, Pepperstone has, is it TFD? Traditional Finance, I think that's how you call it. But now they've moved over and they now have their Pepperstone Crypto side of it as well. You can actually onboard, and I've tried this myself. You can actually onboard using Australian dollars straight into an exchange, zero fees on deposit. That's correct. Yeah, zero fees on deposit. And you can swap there. Now, the reason that I'm using it, and I mentioned it in that video, the reason I've been using Pepperstone is because now I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, and we'll have a look at it briefly, but there is an option to do tokenized assets. Now, I mentioned that on a video recently, so go check out the link in my bio on TikTok, and I will post it on YouTube as well. Is that there's a way that, say, for example, you wanted to get involved with NVIDIA or Apple, or you wanted to get involved with, I'm just trying to think of Robinhood, right? There are now, so what used to be like stocks, there are now tokenized assets, which means you can actually, instead of buying the full one Apple share or one NVIDIA share, which can be quite high, you can now buy a piece of it, right? And that's really, really good because what that allows us to do is it allows people to view, to hold tokenized assets without one, getting a broker involved, and two, holding a much smaller amount. Okay, so that is one of the things that I'm doing. Check out the video, and yeah, that's something that I think is great they're now doing. In regards to cards, guys, so I'm trying to get rid of some of these. Amazing the amount of hackers that come, scammers that come onto our lives, but that's okay. Um, Someone said, will it go down on Monday? Well, it's Monday over here, Ivan, and it hasn't gone down. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the market's still, it is pulling back a little bit, but I'm okay with that. The other one that I did want to mention as well is if you are looking for a card that allows you to spend your crypto, I earn in USDT and I need a way to be able to spend that, then highly recommend you use something like Cast. It's just another way to earn in crypto because you get a 1.5 cashback that's on the free account. And not only that, they now have a rewards that's going to be launching where you can actually earn by having the money on the card before you spend it, which is really, really cool. Again, all this information, guys, that I'm sharing, you can head over to the link tree. In the link tree, you will find absolutely everything. If you are looking to get involved with the VIP group, obviously we've got a 7-day trial that you can get involved in. 7 days, try it for free. If it's something you're interested in, stay. If not, cancel it at any time. We've also got the 10-second strategy, which is the strategy that I teach for trading. So definitely you can go ahead and do that as well. And then, of course, we've got, we're sponsored by PIN, which is if you are in Australia or in New Zealand and you are trying to find a simple on and off ramp, highly recommend you can use that. It is just, it's so straightforward and so easy. And it is what I use for all my on and off ramping. But then again, my top picks are, of course, the Cast card, 1.5% on those cashbacks. You've got the Tangent wallet. Right now, we've got a 20% discount. So if that's something you're interested, head over to the link tree. And of course, again, Pepperstone Crypto. And then, hey, who wouldn't be excited? If you've been in this space for any amount of time, for example, looking at, you'll know about Nexo. Nexo is an opportunity, which I can't say a lot about, but it is there on the link tree. So more info coming up very, very soon. Let me go ahead and just jump back into the charts. So we're back on Bitcoin, and I'm just going to check and see if there's any other questions. You're very welcome, Melvia. You're very welcome. I hope it helps. Just trying to see if there's any other question. Is there any other charts that you guys want me to look at? Hey, Crypto Chick, how you doing? Nice to see you. We're now running on YouTube as well. Hey, Rob Cal, how are you? So for those of you who are on TikTok, and I don't know what's going to end up happening with TikTok. Oh, Leanne, absolutely. Again, yeah, highly recommend it. It's just an easy way to on and off ramp. I think when you've been in this space so long, it gets to a stage where you don't find something that's easy to use, honestly, and if you're in Australia, you'll know we now have a travel rule, which means everything you try and do is so complicated. If you're trying to move assets around, thank you so much for the follows. It's really, really hard. So highly recommend, again, just what I use. It just helps and it's so easy to use. Yeah, so for those, if you are watching me on TikTok, guys, look, I don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. Unfortunately, my account has been shadow banned over and over again. I think it's been like almost 3 months now. So we will be doing lives on YouTube. So if you want to check out what I'm looking at, the screens that I'm sharing, and that is going to help you, make sure you jump into the YouTube channel. Same as everywhere, Nanicrypto, or you can just go to the link in my bio and go ahead and look at that. Rob Cal, how are you? Nice to see you. RPS 21, we did do a quick dive into XRP. Make sure you go into the August, oh, it's August 24th today. So the August 24th video, I do talk about XRP, so you can definitely jump into the YouTube channel and you can find that in there. Okay, someone is asking about Jasmine coins. I'm just going to go ahead and look at that quickly and see what that's doing. I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at this one for a while. USDT. Let's just go ahead and see what it is doing. See, for example, you know how we were talking about trying to find those that have already moved? This is one of those that hasn't. Let me just move this up so you guys can see it. As you can see, Jasmine has been going down. Let's just move to the daily so you can get a good idea. Yeah, see, this coin saw $5.31, plummeted. But the thing is, apart from this area where it had a bit of a run, it just hasn't recovered. And we can definitely see that. If you look at the volume down the bottom of that chart, it is not looking good. Now, again, just remember what I'm sharing with you is my technical analysis on a chart. Now, if you are looking to buy an asset long term, this shouldn't matter. The price shouldn't matter. You may even think, well, if it pulls back, I'm interested in jumping in because I want to buy it cheap because I'm going to hold it for a really long time because I've done my research on the project. All right. That's one way of looking at it. But if you are looking at Jasmine from a from a perspective that you want to get into it, like as in spot trader or swing trader, you might go, I would say, me, I'm looking at the chart, I'd say, wouldn't touch it with the 10-foot pole. It's not ready. It's been going down for a long time. It's got a lot of downwards pressure. So just FYI in regards to that. I do realize that there are people who follow, who have made profits from meme coins. I know that. I have too. All I'm saying is it's higher risk. So just be careful with what it is you're getting involved with. Thank you so much for the follow, Liwa. How these people come on the live asking for money? That is crazy. Andrea, how are you? Nice to see you again. Okay, guys. Well, it looks like our first YouTube live went off without a hic, which we did without a hiccup. Which is a good thing. Um, Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this live. It really helps me out. If there's anything that you would like me doing, the plan. Look, I don't want to set a timeline yet. I'm mixing up between Monday and Friday about when we do this live. Thank you so much for the follow, Gabby. So the idea is to be able to do the live on YouTube so you guys can actually see what I'm looking at. For you guys in TikTok, make sure you jump over to YouTube and follow me there because that's where I'm going to be posting these videos. But of course, we're going to be running here because why not? And then Tuesdays we'll do our usual just TikTok live, or we might even do the back. We'll see. Again, comment in the chat if you enjoyed the live. Thank you so much, guys. It's You're very welcome, Leanne. Great to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Hope your kids are doing well. Great to see you. Hopefully, you'll be able to join us on the lives. Again, please leave a comment in the chat. Now, if you are watching this on recording and you enjoyed it, this is what it's going to be like. Crypto made simple. We're going to be doing everything from charts. We might look at staking. We might, we're going to look at stuff that I use in my day to day that helps me in the crypto space, like we did today with CoinMarketCap and how do we check those how many people are holding. It is for you. These lives are going to be to help you guys get educated. There's a lot. Look, it's an overwhelming space, so I'm here to help you on your crypto journey. So make sure that if you like this content, make sure, and I don't know where it is, so make sure you like the video, subscribe, and then of course leave a comment. And I do read and respond to everything. So if there's anything that you want to learn, if there's something that you feel is missing, maybe, with all the jargon going on, if there's anything that I can help with, please let me know. Hope you guys have a great day, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are. I'm going to go ahead and stop this